Let's go.
Coming up in this episode, Barra on the surface.
Welcome to my fishing place, the place to be. And in this episode, we head up to Lake Lethall, which is about 20 minutes north of Maryborough, and it's the lowest place in Queensland you can catch impoundment barra. And it was awesome, we had a ball.
As always, getting there is half the adventure. And we hooked up with Dave Brace, and he was a little bit surprised at our trailer packing skills.
Yeah, I'll just do some packing. Done.
What do you mean packing? You mean throwing in, yes, throwing in.
Yeah, there was the unsecured gas bottle, you may have heard that brought up earlier.
Shocked at the unprofessionalism with which we packed the trailer. I think we did a great job, personally.
Not only that, but we arrived to about 10 k's from the spot before the discussion happened. We've got no food.
Damn. Oh, really?
What are we going to do for food? And we literally ate Dave's food for the first day because we didn't have any.
We've got no food. That's all. That's the only thing we're missing is food.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks Dave for sponsoring the trip. But that aside, we got up there, kayaks ready, got all geared up.
That's the same colour we use for jacks.
10-pound little spin outfit, so that's a bit of a gamble, but we'll give her a crack, eh?
And headed out for our evening session. That was the first time we hit the water. And there wasn't a lot happening in the evening, Dazza. It was a bit of a different bite.
Well, a different bite would be ambitious to say. There was actually no bite. I think I had one follow. But it's fun, isn't it? Like, you know, sometimes you go places like that and you're looking at the water, you're looking at the lilies, you're looking at the area and you think, there's got to be fish here. You cast and you cast and you cast, but there was just no afternoon bite, So it doesn't help your confidence, does it? When you're out there fishing for a few hours into prime time fishing and you just think, something's got to be here, and nothing. And then you get told, you've just got to get up at 3 a.m. and do it all again.
And Brace is like, 3 a.m, can we get up earlier, please?
He was fully pumped.
Oh,
he was
fully
action
pumped.
man.
Well, the same thing. Like it's at that time we were, we got these new surface lures, these Bagley, rattling finger mullets. Now you caught a few on them, and we're casting these round. It's dusk. It's like yes, we're all just waiting for the boof, but nothing. But like you say, okay, it has been a bit of a morning bite. So 3 o'clock the next morning, off go the alarms and off we go. And it was quite good actually because we had a friend of my fishing place, Paul Chewy, and I was quite relieved he came up because we paddled for quite some time. And thanks to Chewy, every now and then he grabbed the boat, go for a bit of a tow. Oh, thanks, mate. But you got to be. I've learned one thing. You got to be careful because I had he had a rope on the side of his boat, right? And I thought, I'll just grab the rope. But the only problem is you grab the rope and you're not quite even keel, and all of a sudden your kayak's going this way, and he's I'll let go. So that was a bit of a danger.
Just chilling here by Chewy's boat, getting a free lift to where we're going to catch big barra.
He had a great knowledge of the lake.
Yeah.
He's fished there a lot, and so the spots he told us to go really did hold fish.
And that's it. You've just got to, either get a little bit of local info about where to fish, or just keep trying different things until you find out where the fish are. And I think, you guys got a couple of barra on the first day. I don't think I raised a barra the first day. It was the second morning. When I went out, I was using that bag lure that I was talking about before, and I got I think 4 barra in a nice bite early in the morning, and the biggest one, got 1 small barra, and the next barra was a good sized one, which we've got a bit of a shot here of. And what actually happened was, got a couple around the lilies, and there were some lily pads out a bit wider, and I threw the lure out there, and tick, 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 and that deep big.
I heard it from my kayak on the other side of that little island.
Yeah, like there was the biggest boof you've heard, like a big boof, and I went, this is a solid fish. So then 2 casts later, and he missed it again. So he's missed it twice, and I think on the third thing, boom, on, and then you know it's a good fish when whoa, it starts towing you.
Yeah.
And it was towing me through the weeds, and at one point I could feel it rubbing on the weeds and the lilies down deep, and it, so I'm just being a bit. You just don't want to give it too much, a little bit tentative, but you're solidly hooked up. It's still towing you. And at one point, it cut through the weeds and went like that.
Oh,
and you think, I've lost it. But, it come tight. So it actually, all it was the fish had gone through the weeds, and it actually just, it cut through the weeds, and that was enough but still on. Great barra, great to get a decent barra. And, we're chasing meteries, but that was easily the best barra of the trip.
Beautiful, nice barra on a Bagley service lure.
Beautiful, sick hit.
Yeah, so great fish. I targeted that fish. I saw some bait. He had three different casts. He had 3 different goes at it, and finally connected. And what a stock, beautiful fish. Yep. No, I've been targeting him right out wide.
Great fun on those services. I'm just addicted to catching barra on surface lures.
Coming up after the break, barra on the surface. Now, barra on surface is just outstanding. Doesn't take many boofs or hits on the surface with barra to forget it was a 3 a.m. start. Once that action starts and boom and whack and towing around, it's the gear, isn't it?
I hadn't caught one that first day, and when we paddled out that morning, and I'm just paddling and I just hear with Darren's kayak, I'm thinking, yeah, so I'm straight over there, yeah, stay on that one, that's it, yeah. And then he gets a couple more, like, what is going on? But I didn't get any hits on it, but the action on these things was so good. But Keza, was it day 1 you got a couple of barra?
Yeah, I got 2 on the Bagley finger mullet. Awesome. Mine was a bluey colour. One right over on the reeds on the bank there.
We've got some pictures of that one, haven't we?
Definitely, yep.
Whoa! No, I am excited. The big bluey coming in again.
That's bad.
Just put your hand under his tummy and he'll swim away.
Now I've got another one around the sort of behind that island, and just great fun. It's just nothing like just getting smashed on the surface, dealing with barra. Too good. And Davey, the boys put us onto the fish. They did outstanding.
So there we were, day 2, and again, Kez had caught 2 barra.
2.
Darren had caught 3 barra.
Beautiful.
And I was still barrelless, and it was like a situation, it was so surreal to be actually catching barramundi in a lake like this, because we'd never done it before. I'm thinking, it was just, these guys had caught fish, and I'm thinking, surely I cannot come all this way and not catch a barra. And so I was a little frustrated. I mean, I caught a solid bass the day before trolling, so that was really good. I switched to a little Z-Man 3-inch minnow, and there was a spot of weed. It was probably about 1 metre deep. So just a couple of casts in there, and then just that hit, and I'm like, yes! I was so pumped, you got no idea.
Oh, we got an idea.
So yeah, have a look at this and you'll see how happy I was. Whoa, he's on! On! Oh, nice little bass!
Get it in your boat. Yes!
Yeah! Woo! And anyway, so it's just a barra in you know, Barra 2.5 hours from the Sunshine Coast. And so I was just stoked. And then it was after that, really though, I think that was the last Barra we caught. And it was quite good because the Barra sort of shut down. We searched some other little spots, but then we, of course, found something else.
Yeah, well, you've got to adjust when you're fishing, don't you? You've got to look at what's working. And Barra had closed down, a bit too much light, sun too high in the sky. So then we went looking for bass, and we tried the banks. I know you and Bracey spent a while over on those trees over there, and we looked around, but we found them schooling up. And that was the ticket for some unreal fun. I hadn't done it before, looked for schooling bass. And but when you're paddling around, you got your Deeper Pro and you're sort of looking at your phone and you find these schools and then just dropping down. Oh, yes! No, not a huge fish, but a fish. No, he's onto a cracker. He's on. Oh, Dad, you are on. They're big bass. Like these are not little peckers. They're like grabbing your line and just. I loved it. It was heaps of fun. Coming up after the break, big bass down deep.
Let's go.
We must have caught a dozen bass in that little session at least.
Oh,
or more.
easy.
I was dropping a TN60 because you want to drop straight down and bring that rail straight up through the school. Getting smashed. Like sometimes it was double and triple hookups.
Yeah, I know.
Once you got on that school and dropping those fish, there was just fish everywhere.
He's onto a cracker.
There we go, absolute cracker.
Was the different times like someone's here, oh, I got fish on, I'm over here, just on, and the action was so fast. I loved it.
A little bass.
Mate, it was so much fun, and I just remember the best part about it, like with these little Deeper Pros, is they go to your phone and you get a little ding. You can set it every time a fish comes up.
And you had it non-stop.
And I had
We're going to
mine.
turn that phone off.
It's like ding, ding, ding,
Like,
ding,
oh, guys,
ding,
there's
ding.
fish here, and I'll show you a screenshot of what it looked like on my phone, but just like ding, 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 ding. I'm like, guys, they're here, they're here. And of course, you know, you just drop the, again, I was on this purple jackal, and they just cleaned up. Beautiful Aussie bass, amazing fish. She's going back down to the depths, this one. There she goes. Yeah, but you know they're there, but that hit is still the same as if you didn't know they're, you know, just like, yeah, you're on. And so that was an absolute ball. Yeah, we had, I'm sure there's a photo there with 3 of us with bass. And the other technique we were using, if they sort of shut down a bit, you know, using the jackals, all you do, you just toss on a deep diver and you do a couple of runs on the troll and you get them on the troll as well. So,
is there any trolling etiquette?
Oh, Dazza.
Yes.
I wish we had asked Bracey about Dazza. He said, he's like, oh, my favourite memory is like you and Big Red are hooked up and Dazza's trolling just like, stuff ya, and he just trolled straight through the middle of us till we're hooked up, and he's like, Dazza, get out, get out. He's like, I want to fish, like angry Darren, you know. Trolling etiquette did not apply.
Well, I was, you know, hunting a bass.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the good bycatch as well. I got a beautiful yellow belly or golden perch, and you know, you just sort of don't know a little bit what's down there. Could have been a barra sitting there. Cruised around, I sounded it up on the Deeper Pro. Now we can see the structure on the bottom, see plenty of fish and activity moving around, and I just put my lure straight through it. Crank, crank, whack, you're on. So I love this Deeper Pro. It's a fantastic little tool. I know Bracey got smoked by something, and he had serious line. He was 20-pound line, 40-pound leader or something ridiculous, and he just got dusted.
This is what very well could have bricked me yesterday.
No, that was an exciting session though. Really, you know, Barra closed down a little bit, but the bass came on and we got onto the schools, and that was a highlight. It was so much fun.
I mean, you alluded to it earlier, Kez. It was said, like, you know, when you're fishing, it's about sometimes modifying what you're doing and picking up some extra fish. You know, like a lot of people up there go to fish for barra and they would continue to cast, you know, maybe switching lures, but continue to target barra all day. But come 7:30, it was almost a waste of time. Maybe you pick one or two up if you fish, you know, solid all day, who knows. But by just saying, well,
Let's see what's
the
going
barra
on.
are done, we know they're pretty much shut down. Let's go chase another species. You know, we knew that was going to happen, so we had our other rods, we had our other lures, we just, you know, ready in case that might happen. So it's being prepared for what other things you might be able to target. And again, there is some sort of pleasure in working out a species, targeting that species and catching it. You know, like it's not just throwing a prawn in and wondering what's going to hit. It's actually targeting a specific species and a specific technique. And you know, it can produce a lot better than just, you know, casting and hoping, I guess.
After the break, no one works harder for less fish than us.
Let's go.
There had to be a saying that happened on this trip, which I don't know if we should be proud of or ashamed. But Bracey made the comment, nobody works harder for less fish than you guys.
Is that a compliment?
I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but the truth is, you know, but you might be watching this thinking, man, you guys clean up. Man, we work hard sometimes for these fish. Like, you might not realise, but like Big Red alluded to, we were up at 3 and we were loading kayaks, taking them down, we'd paddled out, we'd found the spot, like we had lures in the water well before the sun was up. You see the photos of Daz's barra, it was pitch black. And then we would be out all day. We'd paddle back for lunch, have a bit of a bite to eat.
Occasional kip.
Although Daz is famous for his kip, it brings on fish.
Right, let's go get Kez. He's sleeping. He's always sleeping. Like, here we are, ready to fish, ready to catch barra, ready to catch bass, and where's Keza? Having a little kipsy. It's embarrassing.
There you were accusing me of slacking off. I'm ready to fish in my sleep. The excitement, the anticipation. But then we'd be back in the water and we would not get back till 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night.
That would be
It's a big day, but if you want to catch fish and they're not necessarily firing, you just work hard, but if you put the time in, you get results.
Belly slept again today, too hot, 50 degrees.
There's the saying that, you know, 20% of fishermen catch 80% of the fish, and it's true. But what you don't see is those guys out there, how many, you know, times they go out and come back with a donut. Yeah. You know, it happens to the best fishermen out there. They come back with a donut.
Well, there's a 7-Eleven everywhere, so if you don't catch a fish, you can always get a donut or two.
Well done, Big Red. But how many times here in our fishing does someone not catch a fish for a full day? They work hard and then the next day it's on. But you got to be there putting it in the putting in the time.
Everything works out even.
Oh, pretty
Well,
much.
I don't think it does work out even. Not on the Illmatic Dam. My wife called me a sportsman the other day. I come back dejected after catching one bass. Lisa said, you got to develop the mind of a sportsman. I said, are you calling me a sportsman? He called me a sportsman. Just don't stop casting. Because you're not going to catch, you know, a fish while your lure's in the boat or in the rod. It's got to be in the water to catch a fish.
That is fairly...
Inside.
No, but what I'm saying is...
You heard it first here, folks. You heard it first on My Fishing Place.
You can't catch fish with your lure out of the water unless you've got a second lure which is in the water and your other lure's out of the boat.
Wow.
Like that.
I try to go deep and this is what happens.
Putting your lure in the right place is important because we could have cast out at the snags, I reckon, all day and maybe not come with a barra. We located the fish in those lily pads around that weed. Yours was in the weed, mine were on the lily pads, yours were on the back end of those. You've got to get your lure in the right place.
Yeah. We did work hard, and I mean, kayaking is wonderful, you know, but if you're not doing it all the time, it is a bit of hard work. But, you know, the payoff for the hard work is just the stealth of the kayak. You're just slipping through the water.
I must admit, at night, a couple of those times when we were paddling back, I think it's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, or you guys were paddling, I was just kicking my leisurely in the Hobie. Looking back, looking up at the stars, like, it was beautiful. Like, we'd been out, we'd caught fish, and then we were kicking back in an incredible environment. I loved it.
We were 2.5 hours from home, catching barramundi.
On the surface.
On the surface, and it's just incredible, incredible fishing.
Well, we hope you enjoy watching the show as much as we enjoy making it.
From the crystal clear waters of the Ovens River, down on the New South Wales-Victorian border, right up to the sand caves of the Coral Sea, we've had a magnificent time chasing some of Australia's greatest fish.
And we can't wait for more fishing adventures just for you. Don't forget, keep up to date with what's happening with My Fishing Place on our website and also on Facebook. And we'll see you in Season 3.
Stay tuned for Season 3 coming soon.
First on the service, yeah!